I have still made a total of $0 on my GoFundMe, so I don't think anybody's going to give me money. And that means that I'm going to get declared incompetent, even though I very clearly have evidence that I'm competent. So, thought I'd talk about this conversation I had with my parents about the broken door and about the bullet shot past the head. Number one, I'm pretty sure that my dad did tell me that he thought it was some kid that shot a bullet past his head in our neighborhood. The reality is that when people threaten us and people intimidate us, I'm talking about cops, we have to act like it's not cops. Because if we act like it's cops, then suddenly it's like, well, why would you think it's cops? Is that because you're part of a drug trafficking organization? So yeah, that was the only part where he was functional. Like, the thing about me is when I talk to him, I know he's not going to know what's going on because he's had dementia for long enough around me, so I know he's confused. My mom had a medical professional ask me, or had a medical professional think that she had dementia, and that person came up to me and said, "Does your mom have dementia also?" Because my dad was getting cancer treatment at the hospital, and his caseworker was like, "I think your mom has dementia." And I said, "She's never been diagnosed, but she definitely exhibits the behavior of it. She can't do very, very basic things ever. She can't learn basic things. So she definitely has memory problems. She has technology problems to the point that it's like, you can't function." But my dad has even more problems. Like, when my mom's not around, I have to order food for him. Like, he doesn't know what's going on. It's a pretty depressing situation. So the obvious thing that I noticed from the conversation is my mom saying, "Oh, I thought your brother might have broken the door." And it's like, well, then why didn't you call him and say, "Hey, did you break the door upstairs while we were at church?" The reason she didn't call him is because he didn't live in Colorado. So that was a very clear lie. Like, it was like very clear that she was trying to lie, because usually accidental lies are based on something, and there's no way that she could have thought that. My guess is what actually happened is my dad wanted to ignore the broken door because it was clearly intimidation. Like, I mean, you have to understand, when she says the outside doors weren't broken, the inside door was broken. And the inside door wasn't a locked door. It was a door that you don't even, like, it's a door handle that you don't pull down. It's a door handle that stays the same. All you do is push the door open. So, like, it's a door handle that I would never even touch. So, because, like, you don't need to touch the door handle to, like, because, like, the side that was broken was the side that you push out. So the only side of the door handle that you would touch is the other side of the door. So, like, I would pull the door open from if I was inside the room, but the door was broken on the outside of the room, and they ripped it down, and it was, like, completely ripped off. I used to have a picture of it, and I even had that picture on Instagram, and then I realized I was going to scare people, so I took it off, and I had it on my phone, and every time I started to not believe that I was part of this, like, criminal organization, I'd always look at my phone to verify that I wasn't crazy. Because I remembered what happened is they broke my door, and it was intimidation, and that was after this girl had told me about this raid at this horse ranch. And so, this whole notion that she doesn't remember, she said she remembered. She knows she remembered it because she took me to go get a door handle because I didn't have any money. And even to this day, you can go to my house in San Antonio and go look at the door, and you can see where it was scraped, because when they ripped it off, the screw scraped across the paint. So the paint was always scraped, even though I replaced the doorknob. I never repainted it. It was clear intimidation. At the time that they broke my doorknob, I was hanging out with these NSA guys at church all the time, and they were always intimidating me. Like, every time I went to church, it was like, why do I have to go to church? And it was like, it's because my people wanted me to go, and I was doing my job, and my job was going to church. And I know that's weird, because I was an agnostic person at that time. I wasn't atheist yet. And I was always getting intimidated at church, and then next thing you know, broken doorknob. But that wasn't the only thing that happened. You have to understand, like, a lot of things were happening with the intimidation. The bullet shot past my dad's head, that was actually when I didn't live in Texas. I'm pretty sure that I was living in Colorado, and then in the letter I talk about this stolen car situation where this guy gave me a ton of acid, and then these people started scaring me. They, like, would walk up to me and be like, they murdered your dog. Like, I mean, someone told me that. And if you don't go back to Las Vegas, we're gonna fucking kill you. Like that sort of thing happened. And then after that trip, I came home, and that's when my dad told me that he had a bullet shot past his head. And back then it wasn't, that's what he thought maybe. Back then it wasn't a maybe. Now it's a maybe because you can see that I put a phone in front of you. But before it wasn't a maybe. And the real question is, why is it turned into a maybe when it was it definitely happened thing? I guess that's up to the FBI to figure out.